If you go to a search engine today and type in piano instructor in Los Angeles or violin teacher near me, I guarantee you'll be deluged with names and websites and their social media, and you won't know where to start. Internet, search engines, platforms, all kinds of applications have made it incredibly easy for students to find a piano teacher or any instrumental teacher. But the other side is also true. They have equally made it easy for service providers, not just teachers, but entertainers, rooftop fixers, restaurants, and any service providers to promote their service. But websites and social media can make anyone stand out with words and glamorous pictures without, them having actual substance in their career. So how do you sort them out and how do you filter them? How do you find the perfect teacher that's right for you? This morning, I was preparing to make this video and I typed in a piano teacher in Los Angeles, which is where I live. And I was stunned to see so many promotional websites of music schools and individual music teachers that are like more for beginners. But not a single one popped out that I would study with if I were an advanced piano student. It's funny how I myself didn't even come up. Google and Yelp and similar platforms, they will only promote you if you pay them dollars. But this is the thing, like if you are an in-demand teacher with a full studio, like why would you pay hundreds of dollars to Google for promotion? So the teacher that you might want to study with, that's perfect for you, may not be one of the listed ones on Google or Yelp or similar platforms. So how do you sort them out and find the one that is right for you? Well, here's what to do. Get some names. Recommendations are great, but you can also go to the websites of community colleges, two-year colleges, and universities with a music department in your area and get the names of their instrumental music faculty members. You can also go to calendar or events page of a community space, such as like library, and look for classical music events like recitals or lectures. And these are great opportunities for you to actually go and meet the potential teachers and get a feel for their personality. Then, after you get a list of potential teachers, it is time to study their biography. And I say study because I want you to read it very, very carefully. The biographies can be found on the brochures of the recitals and lectures that you attended, or you can find their websites and social media, Facebook pages. Find the biographies and really, really read them. And you want to pay attention to their final degree. So do they have the terminal degree in music performance? And that's called DMA, short for Doctor of Musical Arts. So Doctor of Musical Arts encompasses, all these different majors, violin major, composition major, piano major, trumpet major. You want that concentration to be in your instrumental area, obviously. For intermediate and advanced students, I recommend at least a Master of Music degree. Pay very little attention to awards they garnered. Like in their biographies, usually like, this award, that award, like grand prize in this newspaper competition. But they could be, competitions that they entered as like a 7-year-old, 10-year-old. And unless it specifies, you have no idea of when they got these competitions. I mean, it's very meaningful if they got it like in their, 20s. If it's really recent, then it says something about their, performance skills. But don't be so charmed by the list of awards because, they could be just like something very local or like from such a long time ago that it has no meaning on what kind of teacher they are, what kind of performer they are. It's not a complete deal breaker, but it is a red flag if the teacher is advertising for teaching all levels and all ages. I have never seen a teacher that teaches, college and graduate students and also excellent at teaching beginner level. And I haven't seen the other way either. Like usually experienced teachers will have a niche of students. I've taught all ages and all levels at different points in my teaching life. And it's a completely different skill teaching like younger kids beginner piano and teaching grad level piano or teaching amateur pianists. They're so different. I possibly couldn't be a good teacher for everybody. I specialize in teaching, more advanced students. That's why most of my YouTube content is, you know, for more amateur pianists who have been studying the piano for at least several years. So it's not a deal breaker, but watch out for that. Watch out for all ages and all levels on their bio or somewhere on their website. Related to that, if they're teaching, composition, arranging, collaborative piano, chamber music, oral skills, history, theory, like if they're teaching everything, like in different styles of music, like church music, jazz, classical, then I would also suspect their expertise. Jack of all trades and master of none. After you have gone through their biographies, you probably will have a shorter list. And now it's time to do the actual research. Go online, type in their name, followed by the instrument, and you'll find, some clips, recorded and sometimes live performances that you can watch. Listen, do you like their playing? What are they playing? Is it the kind of repertoire that you want to play when you are studying with this potential teacher? And look for, kind of professionalism. Usually beyond the Master of Music degree, the performer should have a certain mark of professionalism. It's the how they carry themselves, not so much about, the what kind of venue they are playing or the audio quality. They should look professional, and this kind of thing, even if you don't have a really experienced set of years, these are things that you can tell just by looking. Your gut will tell you. So definitely do the research and listen to their lectures and performances that are available online. Now you probably have a few people on your list, and it's time to email them. I think it's really important to write a good email because this is your first impression to that person. In this email, you want to tell them about yourself, a brief history of your instrumental studies in the past. It really helps if you tell them what kind of repertoire you worked on most recently. If you've had any performances in the past, this email doesn't have to be so long because who knows, like the person might not even have a space for you. So keep it pretty short, but do include an introduction, brief history of your musical studies. And I think it's totally fair to ask about their lesson fee. I totally don't mind in the first email, the student asks for a lesson fee. That's an important piece of information. You also want to ask if there is availability in their schedule. And if so, if you can schedule a phone meeting with them, phone or Zoom. So now that you have a teacher that you want to study with that works with your budget and your location, then it's time to speak on the phone. It's always nice to start by saying something nice about them. Like I was like drawn to your performance online and I saw this lecture. I thought you were great. Let them respond to it with a few words about what they truly love and what they value. When people talk about what they really like, then they get excited and they tend to open up their personality, and you can see if you can get along with that teacher. So on this phone conversation, you can ask logistical things like, their week-to-week availability, if the studio offers any, performance opportunities, and if there are any studio policies that you should be aware of. If these things work out and if the conversation goes well, then it's time to schedule your first lesson. So once you schedule your lesson, you want to prepare a piece or a couple of pieces that you know very, very well. It's nice to tell the teacher what you will be bringing because, if it's an obscure piece that the teacher has never heard of, then like she'll be kind of put on the spot to come up with things to say. If you take a new piece or not take a piece at all, then you're stuck with like just working on basic stuff and not get into more interesting ideas of interpretation. So definitely take a piece that you know very, very well, possibly from memory. If it doesn't go well, then pay for the lesson, thank him for the lesson, but say something like, oh, this is not quite what I expected. And the teacher will 100% understand. And at this point, you'll go back and email another teacher that was on your shortlist. If you find a teacher that you like, this is the teacher that can help you for the next few years. Unless something doesn't work out, or unless you feel like you're not making any improvement after a couple of years, I would say, staying with the same teacher for 4 or 5 years is ideal. I know it's tough, but it makes it easier if you know yourself a little bit better. If you look into yourself and think about your goals, needs, your personality type, what kind of repertoire that you want to work on. These pieces of information will help so much in locating that perfect teacher for you. Um, I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of A Pianist Process. Bye.